Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm sorry it's been a week since I last posted. My schedule has gone completely out the window, so busy at the moment. Anyway, today's video is you're still struggling to manifest your ex. Everyone is you pushed out. Why aren't you managing to manifest your ex or your specific person, doesn't have to be your ex, and everybody else? You're reading stuff about everybody manifesting super quick or just manifesting quicker than you. What can you do about that, bearing in mind that everybody is you pushed out? So let's say, for example, that you feel that you're doing everything right, and I do get emails from people saying, but I'm doing everything right. I don't feel needy anymore. I don't feel attached like I was. I know that I'll be okay without them, but yet still I haven't got them. Where are they? It's really frustrating. So first of all, I'm going to say this. The fact that you're frustrated is that you're not at the right point. You're not there. Your inner world is world. I sound so West Country when I say that. I just can't say it any other way. It's reflecting. It is reflecting back to you what you're feeling and what your deep-rooted beliefs are. And if you are getting frustrated, then you are not putting you first, basically. You are not knowing your own importance. You are not knowing how amazing you are. And you are just, you need to alter that energy. And you can do that. You absolutely can do that. But first of all, can I just point out to you that when you do say to me, when you guys come to me and say, I've read about people manifesting right away, and I read about people manifesting in a month and 2 months, and it's been 6 months, and it's really frustrating, and you're cross because you haven't managed to manifest. One, obviously, you're cross, so you're uptight, and you are attached to the outcome. Even if you think you're not, you are attached to the outcome, because otherwise you just wouldn't be. You just wouldn't be feeling that way. Okay, secondly, it doesn't matter what is happening for anybody else, because the thing is, next door, the woman that lives next door, her inner self will be completely different than mine. What's going on, her thoughts, feelings and beliefs, completely different than mine. The woman down the road, my mum, my sister-in-law, one of my best friends, two of my best friends, everybody will be different inside. Nobody will be like me. I am unique. You are unique. You are an individual. So you are reflecting, you are getting reflected back what's going on inside of you. It's completely irrelevant that somebody else has manifested right away. And I'll tell you now why people manifest right away, their specific person. So there are varying reasons. One reason is they aren't attached to the outcome. So a lot of people do this. They get into this and they're not completely into it. They've read a bit about it and they see get back with your ex, and they do the text technique or the phone technique, but they don't have any expectation, because they're half thinking, I don't know if this is real. So they're not waiting for it because they don't really believe in it. Then it happens, and then of course they're a convert, and then they can't make it happen after that because they know it's a thing. It's very difficult when you know it's a thing, when you have attachment. So that happens fairly easily for people. Secondly, when people manifest their ex back fast, or a specific person, will be because that they are hugely self-confident, self-aware, so they're aware of their own feelings and what's going on, but they know their self-worth and they are not looking to reach that person. They're already at the point that they want to be at. They just want that person. That's completely different than wanting somebody because you want to prove yourself to them, you want to prove that you've changed, and prove that things can be different this time. If you want to prove yourself to somebody, you are saying that they are better than you, that you have to reach them, and you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. You really don't. You are you. You are unique. You are amazing. This is your reality, completely your reality, and that other person, you are wanting to experience them in a certain way, but it's not their reality, it's yours. So this is all about you, and no matter how much you are trying to convince yourself that you don't have attachment, and you don't have other things going on there, you do. And the first thing to do is to be completely honest with yourself. So don't compare yourself to anybody else, because there will be nobody that will be the same as you. Nobody will be having the same experience as you. They won't, because this is your reality. So how can you speed that up? Let's think about this for a minute. Let's say that you are an author like me and you are writing the book of your life. You are writing it because that's in effect what you're doing. You're doing that all the time, but without knowing it and without consciously writing a different story. And you are the main character in your book. You're the protagonist. How do you want your protagonist to be? How do you want them? What is their outlook on life? How do they feel about themselves? How do they feel about the people around them? How do they feel about situations? You are the protagonist in your life, And if you are suffering with these limiting beliefs and you know that they're there, first of all, be honest about them. Be honest that they're there. Bring them up. Deal with them. I think they don't have to be like this. None of it has to be like this. You can change your energy in a second. You really can, by changing your perception. And I've done a bit about this actually in my members area, and I think I'm going to do a lot more about this because I found that changing my perception in general, and also my next video is going to be about how I almost gave up on the law of attraction, and then I changed my perception and my whole outlook. And I think it's key here to change your perception, one, of the situation that you're in at the moment, and two, of your feelings. So if you are in a situation where you are waiting for your specific person, first of all, you need to change the way that you're looking at that. You're not waiting. You're in a chapter, and the next chapter is coming, but you have to get through this chapter. And what is the point in getting with them if you are not right inside? If you're feeling insecure, you're not feeling confident that the relationship can last, you're still thinking that circumstances do matter in your case, if you manifest them back, that's brilliant, but it isn't going to last, because what's going to happen is everything that you haven't dealt with is still going to be there, still going to reflect back at you, and then they'll be gone again, and then you'll be left feeling like you have to start from scratch. Actually, you don't. You will get opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to be with a person. You really will. If you still have that desire, once you've let go each time, another opportunity will come along, for absolutely sure it will. But that's why it's key. So if you are feeling frustrated that your specific person isn't with you, then you need to look at what's going on inside of you and look at how you can change that in order for them to manifest faster. The thing is, it's all down to you. And when you sort out you, everything manifests pretty quickly. Really does. I mean, since I sorted inner me out, everything else happened. And I do still get stuck with things, but I do recognise it now. And I will think to myself, why am I stuck with this? What am I thinking? What are my beliefs about this? And I will go deep, as I say. And by that, I just mean sort of go into myself, sit quietly and really, I don't meditate or anything like that. I can't do that. But I will kind of get to a point where I could almost meditate if I could do it. And then really feel what I'm feeling. And then I will recognise the things that are holding me back, and I will try to change my perception of those things. It's much easier to change your perception of something than it is to actually completely change that belief, to eradicate that negative belief. If you can change your perception, everything changes, because everything that reflects back to us is actually our perception. It's not, so my perception of something will be completely different than my husband's perception. So something might have happened, I don't know, a year down the track, and I might recall it a certain way, and then my husband often recalls things a completely different way and says that I'm making stuff up. But I'm not. It's just that I recall it a completely different way. See, and he gives me his version. I think, well, it didn't happen like that. But he's not lying and I'm not lying. We're just both seeing our own version of what happened, So that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Everything comes down to you, and you just need to sort of get on board with that. Get your frustration of that person out of the way. So deal with your human emotions, because that really does help. If somebody's really hurt you, deal with that. Say, I'm bloody upset about that, not to them necessarily, but to yourself, and think, okay, deal with it. Deal with that crossness or whatever, and then think, okay, if I go on like this, that will happen again, and I don't want to go on like this. Because when we have an emotion or a feeling about something that happened in the past, you are kind of kicking it in again. There it is again, because your subconscious doesn't know that it happened in the past. All it knows is that you're getting that feeling now. So it's a now thing. Everything is now, now, now. So we really want to be mindful of those feelings. And when you do get a negative feeling about yourself, so we'll talk about yourself here really, get a negative feeling about yourself, replace it with something empowering, like, no, I am a priority, I am important, what I want matters most. What I want matters most, because it does. And then when you get your feelings properly aligned with what you want, you don't even have to get them aligned with what you want. What you really need to do is get yourself into a state, a feeling state, where you still want that person, so you still have the desire, because it is always nicer to manifest something when we still have the desire, isn't it? Not when we've let go to such a point that we really don't care anymore and don't even know if we're bothered. It's nice to do it when we still desire them, and the way that we do that is we sort ourselves out inside to the point where we know that we're important, we know that we are the most important, we have set our standards for ourselves, so we only want them in our lives when they meet those standards. There's nothing wrong with that. And then everything is cool. And you will have your ups and downs in your relationship. Of course you will, and stuff will happen, but you will know how to deal with it. You will deal with it so much better. So just because everyone is you pushed out and you are doing all of the right things, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. It all comes down to your feelings and your deep-rooted beliefs that actually when you dig around, you will be able to find out what those are and dealing with those. And I know that's not always the easiest thing to do. So the best way to do it, I believe, is to be hopeful. Is to be hopeful that this will happen. If I can sort myself out, I'm hopeful that this person will come to me. And they will, but hope is much gentler a vibration than expectation. And with expectation, when you know it, you really know it deep down, so you know it, and that feeling is all, believe me, that feeling is correct, it's right. If you get that knowing feeling, it's it. I get it with everything now, absolutely everything, and sometimes I try to kick it in and think, is this going to happen? And I get the feeling, yeah, it's going to happen. And I know it will, but sometimes it might be a couple of months down the line and that thing hasn't happened. And I do think, wonder when that's going to happen. But I'm not obsessing about it. And if you've had that feeling, it's definitely going to happen. You can go with that as your it is done feeling. So you don't have to look for it. All you're doing by looking for it is stalling it. You really are stalling it. You need to just be you, be the best you that you can be, feel the best about yourself, and then everything just falls into place. And that person comes back so seamlessly that you even question whether you manifested it. You think, would this have happened anyway? Well, no, because it just happens with your inner, with what you're believing about yourself at that point, how you feel about yourself. Everything works on how you feel about yourself, really, at the end of the day. If you have all of those self-doubts still and those insecurities, that won't stop you manifesting someone back. It's the attachment to the outcome, really, that stops that from happening. But what it will do is stop that relationship from sustaining, and that's not what you want, is it? You want a sustainable relationship. So work at changing your energy. So any negative thought patterns that you notice, you need to notice them and stop yourself from going down that rabbit hole and tell yourself something empowering, something that you can believe about yourself that's good, or something that you want to believe is possible, that you can feel about yourself. Just believe it's possible. That's all that you need to do. Affirm that to yourself every time you feel yourself going down that self-loathing rabbit hole. And don't be frustrated. Really don't be frustrated, because when they do come back to you, it will be because you're better inside, and you will think to yourself, thank goodness they didn't come back to me 6 months ago, because I wouldn't have been ready for it then, and it would have all got messed up again. You will, honestly, and just please hold on to that. And also remember, there's more to life than your specific person. There's lots to life, and when you embrace everything else, you start to feel better in yourself anyway. And when you know, because the thing is, our self-worth is our self-worth, and it should not be affected by other people and what's going on around us. That should be pure. Our self-worth should be pure. Anything that's happened around and about that is separate from us, you know. It's not, don't think of your past experiences as a part of you. They aren't. They're just a memory. They're the past. They aren't part of what makes you. So you just need to change that pattern of thought, really, and work at that. And don't just think, oh, well, I didn't think about them for at least a couple of hours and they haven't come. Why did they not come in that time? Well, you may not have thought about them, but you've still got all that stuff really going on inside, and that's if you still feel that negative stuff when you really think about it and you feel it, then it needs clearing. So you need to work at that. Stop yourself going down that negative rabbit hole, and it's a practice thing. Everything about it's a bit exercise. It's a bit like cognitive therapy, basically, and you are just training your mind to feel a different way, and it can be done. Honestly, it really, really, really can be done. But please don't compare yourself to the next person or the person before. Don't. I mean, I know I do come out with success stories here sometimes, but I like to give varied success stories, and actually the majority of my success stories are stories of people that have been trying for ages. So when you guys say to me, oh, I've been trying to manifest my ex back for 3 months and I've had no contact, I think, God, that's not long, because I've worked with people that have been doing it for over a year, you know, and you will keep doing that if you don't change. It will be the same for you if you don't accept that what's going on inside is always being reflected, absolutely always being reflected back to you. And if you feel like you're stuck, then you're stuck because you feel like you're stuck. So you are stuck. So key is to be honest with yourself. Yes, it's brilliant if you've let go of lots of attachment and you're feeling much better and you're feeling better about yourself and going about your business. That's all great, amazing, amazing, amazing. Really, that is to be applauded, it really is. So you need to congratulate yourself more often on the achievements that you've made, that you know, the strides that you've taken, and then know that you've come that far. That's amazing, isn't it? Look, you can keep moving and keep moving and keep moving, get to a point where you are so self-confident that you know that anyone would be lucky to have you. Yeah, anyone would be lucky to have you. Of course they would. Okay, that's me. So if you don't know anything about me, pop along to my website, evsparks.co.uk. I have a members coaching area there, which is £5 a month. And with that, you get one-to-one private help. I try to keep that cost as low as I possibly can. That's pretty much as low as I can get, because by the time I've paid tax on it and VAT, that doesn't leave that much. But it's a numbers game for me. So the more I get on board, I can only take a certain amount actually. I am limited because it's my time, but when I get to a certain point, it's cost effective for me now because I've got plenty of you on it, which is amazing. Although my list probably will have to stop in maybe a month or so for a little while, and I get some cancellations, and then some more of you can come on board, because, you know, obviously I do have limited time and I am a writer as well. So yeah, I write books, of course, Law of Attraction books, and also if you haven't visited my son's channel, it'd be amazing if you would do that. That's Harrison Ellis, and there is a link to him in the description, and also he's on my featured channels list, where he is my only featured channel. So his is more technique based stuff, and he's 19, so you know, he will appeal to a certain market, I guess. And he's brilliant at this stuff, absolutely brilliant, make things happen quickly, super fast, because he's just got it down. So he's been doing it since he was 15. Anyway, you know, I think I've probably bigged him up enough now, and, but that would be brilliant if you pop along and see him and see what he has to offer. Might not be for you. Anyway, thank you so much for visiting, and if you haven't subscribed, then I would love you to do that.